Craig Zonka and Loretta Wright.
Streaming live on the ABC Listen app on 6:12 a.m. and on your smart speaker.
Play ABC Radio Brisbane.
Yeah, where it's 7:14.
We remember today so we never forget. At 11 o'clock on the 11th of the 11th, we pause to remember a lifetime of sacrifice, of service, of military campaigns and of comrades and mateship.
It is our lasting legacy, and part of that includes the story of Legacy itself.
Yes, an organisation that was born on the battlefield from a dying promise to protect and care for the loved ones left alone at home.
That was 107 years ago, and today many more have followed in those footsteps, including Brendan Cox, who is the CEO of Legacy Brisbane. Brendan, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Craig. Good morning, Loretta.
And can we say thank you for your service to the country? You've pulled on the uniform for the Australian military. Can I just ask, what was the catalyst for you to serve, if you don't mind explaining that story?
Yeah, Craig. Well, in my family history, my mum and dad were both from Dublin. In our family history, we always had someone who served in the military and someone who served in the priesthood. And I'm the youngest of 7 kids. 2 brothers who were already serving in the army, and Mum looked at me and said, "You must be the priest." I said, "Sorry, Mum, that ship sailed." So I joined the army. So.
Oh, and how did your own military service then shape the person you are today?
Oh, look, putting on the uniform of our nation, both in domestic and international service, is almost a daily proud moment. I always believe in service. It's why, post-military military career, I'm in Legacy, where I get to continue my service ethos developed over 26 years in the military to serve in my community to those families that were less fortunate than my own.
So on this day, Remembrance Day, what goes through your mind, Brendan Cox?
Yeah, it's a really important day of reflection for a nation. It is not about celebration. It is about acknowledging the human cost, the courage of those who have served and still serve today in our Australian Defence Force. And, the statistics are horrible. In World War I, of 330,000 that we deployed overseas, 60,000 died on the battlefield. 60,000 would die in the following decade. And we were a nation of less than 5 million. So these are generations of Australians that have put their hand up to serve us to protect our interests. And for many, they have given their all. For many others, they've given their health. And, we as a nation just come together for one day, for 1 minute, to reflect on that and say, thank you. We acknowledge you. We do celebrate the lifestyle we have. We know that has come at a cost to previous generations.
And of course, after all wars, someone's left at home. There's sadness, there's families. How has Legacy adapted to current day campaigns?
Yeah, so when Legacy was formed, it was really focusing on the families that had lost where the member had fallen in service to our nation. So the parent had died overseas, and Legacy stood up to look after the family to make sure there was no social or financial disadvantage. As we've evolved as a society and got to know the true cost of conflict, which includes the giving of health, Legacy is now adapting its services to make sure that we look after those families where they are supporting a veteran that has mental health issues. Because from a Legacy perspective, it's no longer a veteran in trauma, it's a family in trauma. And they need the support of a grateful nation to say, we will stand beside you as you navigate your life ahead.
Yeah, a lot of that, Brendan, and we've spoken about this on 612 ABC Brisbane previously. Brendan Cox with you, the boss of Legacy Brisbane, that these battles are sometimes within for our men and women of the Defence Force. Are we winning that war in your mind?
It's a really difficult battle because it's a different battle for every individual that goes through it.
Yeah.
And I think, but this is part of the importance of Remembrance Day, is that when the guns fall silent, the war does not stop for some. And they bring those horrors, they bring those experiences back to a living room in our community where the family doesn't even understand what that veteran has been through. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot to unpack. Every person in that family needs support as they navigate their future together. So, look, it's a winning it by ones, Craig. And for that, it's a very individual journey, requires tailored services, and there's no real one agency. It really is a village of support at the time they need it.
And of course now, Brendan, we're more aware of this now, but if you think back to World War One, World War Two, we weren't aware when the men came home, they didn't talk to their families. Future models of care, are we able to find the right way to treat this?
What I do know, Loretta, is we can't do business as usual. We can't just focus on what we do. We've got to focus on what they need. And that is a different story, which means that we have to be very comfortable in being uncomfortable. And what that means is, as they present to us and identify a need that they have, if we don't do that service, we have to find someone on their behalf that does. And we have to warmly navigate them through the very ecosystem that, I call it eco silos. Our challenge is to create the system of both clinical and non-clinical need, because the more connected a veteran or anyone who has a mental health issue, the more connected they are to their community, the stronger they become, and the more people they can reach out to when they have their sorrowful moments. The sorrowful moments will continue. We are human. And what we have to do is, one, yes, absolutely is identify, put our hand up to say, I'm not feeling well. And then us as a community respond to that in a positive, empathetic manner.
And Brendan, on this Remembrance Day, are enough people still remembering?
It's a really good question, Loretta. And, I'm hoping any children in the car go to school and their first question to the teacher is, are we pausing at 11 o'clock? I hope those parents in the car going to work asking their bosses, are we pausing at 11 o'clock? I think we can do more. And all this is reserving a moment in time. The families that we serve in Legacy remember their family member daily as they walk up and down the hallways of their home. This is an opportunity for us as a community that may not be impacted by conflict to stand beside them and say, for today, I remember you. I acknowledge your sacrifice as a family, and I thank those that serve, and I thank those who continue to serve us in our nation's uniform.
That's a great message, Brendan Cox, on this Remembrance Day. Thank you so much for your service and the work you do as CEO of Legacy. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Loretta. Have a great day.
26 years in the Army these days as the boss of Legacy here in Brisbane. 21 past 7 on 10 to 8 on 612 ABC Brisbane. And when we think of our military campaigns, the focus is now as much on the future as it is on the past. How do we keep those tales from the trenches alive for future generations?
Well, it's all about carrying the stories forward and keeping them front and centre and passing the baton of battle on to the next. Rod Martin knows all too well how important that lasting legacy is.
Every day he sees the toll service takes as CEO of Australia's largest veterans allied health service, Go To Health, but he's someone who not only talks the talk, he walks the walk too. He's literally finished just doing that, having tackled the tough terrain of Kokoda. Rod Martin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Craig and Loretta. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thanks. But can you tell us, what was it like to follow in the footsteps of our World War II veterans?
I think it's an utterly incredible experience to go and do the Kokoda track. So 5 people out of Go To Health, some of the doctors, the medical people, and myself. Some of them are veterans. We chose to support Trojans Trek, which is a military charity that support veterans' families and first responders. We actually raised about $140,000 for mental health programs. So that was part of the offshoot. But the actual track itself, look, I think the word I would use is brutal. It's utterly brutal. 8 days of mountains up and down and mud and rain and beating sun in the mornings and leaking tents.
And how many of your thoughts went back to that time when the soldiers were doing it?
I think that's part of the incredible part, really. We were supported by the descendants of the Fuzzy Wuzzy Angels. So we had people from a village in Minari, who the porters that came with us, and there was about 30 of them. And every step of the way, they shared the stories. They were talking about what their grandparents did in terms of looking after the diggers. They were talking about, what it was like and what happened and what the ridge was. And so, I guess that really made it come to life for us. There's some obvious differences. We weren't carrying massive bits of artillery up and down hills. We weren't in a battle. But to be able to do that and see those ridge lines and just experience a little bit of what these people went through is utterly incredible.
And you talk of that and the conditions that you were under. Imagine then what it would have been like carrying artillery
Oh, my word.
in the state of battle, potentially facing enemy fire and the like. When you reflect on that journey home and on the plane home, Rod, what do you take away from that experience?
Do you know, I guess going out there with veterans makes it uniquely special. I mean, that's a big part of it. And there's so much. I mean, today, Remembrance Day, you know, we have this remembrance piece, which is sadness, but there's also a great joy in the way we treat each other. And I think there were four things. At Insarava, at the top, we had a dawn service at one of the final battle spaces. And you know, the four words, mateship, sacrifice, courage, and endurance, are plastered out there on monoliths as part of this. And, you know, that's what you take back is every step of the way, we're all there for each other. You know, and I was climbing a mountain and you know, some of the guys are fit and love to walk, so they were up there first and I wasn't first. But, you know, everyone waits. You know, nobody gets left behind. Everybody's there for each other. And it's the jokes and the laughs and the comradeship, I think, was the most extraordinary part.
Most definitely. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah. And you talk about that fitness level and, you know, gosh, going back when the men did it during wartime, that fitness level was so important, but it was a different thing. They were young men, 18, 20, just going off for the first time. Who knows what at that time their fitness level was like.
That's right. And I think the average age was 18 years old.
Yeah.
The 39th Battalion and the people that fought there. I mean, you know, I'm 55, so there's a bit of a difference there. But even things like water, we were drinking 4 or 5 litres of water every day. And, you know, we've got all the latest devices and tablets and whatever to make sure that you don't get sick. But all of us got something while we were out there.
Wow.
In the jungle. So with that, you know, what you know is the conditions of these guys wasn't just the physical, the mental endurance, the psychological strength they had. You know, the respect that you gain for them is amazing. And then the respect for the people in PNG and the people, I mean, they're just an extraordinary people. They just float over the ground and they catch you before you know you're falling. So the reflection back on, you know, what they did and how they looked after our diggers, I'm flabbergasted is a good word, but you know, it's an exhilarating experience.
Yeah, it's quite extraordinary as you describe it. I'm getting chills up my arms. Rod Martin is with you. He's the CEO of Go2 Health, which is Australia's largest Veterans Allied Health Service, reflecting on his journey along the Kokoda track just a short time ago. Rod, I know this morning, Remembrance Day, we talk about keeping our military history alive. You're doing that with these stories, but I understand it's not just you and your family that's very much front and centre, this talk of military history.
Oh, my son's an avid military historian as well. He's actually doing a display today at Brisbane Boys Grammar School. They've got a little museum and he's taken a whole lot of his equipment that he's collected over years of dedicated collecting helmets and all sorts of things. He's got a bit of a Turkish and an Australian World War I display, and the school have really encouraged it. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Oh, that is so... How old is he?
He's now 21.
Oh, he's now 21. Wow.
So, but he was a student. Now he goes back.
That's so wonderful that he's doing that to you know, educate students of the importance of remembering on today. Rod, thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for your time today and all the very best.
Well, thanks very much for helping us all notice. I think that's really important. Much appreciated, guys.
Remembering to remember at 11 o'clock on this 11th of November. Rod Martin there, the CEO of Go2 Health.